So you've written your lead magnet and it's amazing and the content's incredible, but it looks boring, just like this. So what can you do to make it better? The tip is get into Canva and use some of the templates there. Today, I'm going to show you just how easy that is to make a piece of boring text into a fantastic, powerful lead magnet. Let's get started. So here's my lead magnet, the traffic transformer, which I've written 47 out of the box educational content strategies that turn course creators into traffic magnets. This is something you can do easily. You can write your own lead magnet, but obviously it's easy to write it in text or to do the research using AI and then copy and paste. But how do you make it look pretty? Because this is really boring. This is just plain text. I haven't even done any formatting on it. There's some great information in here, but honestly, I wouldn't read it and I don't know about you. So let's look at this. So we're going to switch to Canva. Well, one of the things I like to use is the Canva templates because they're so powerful and they're so easy to use. And there's a whole range of them. So we've got books, we've got booklets, we've got reports, and you can use all of the different ones to do what you want to do. And if you look, you can see the different sizes come up. So we've got portrait, responsive, report card, A3. Generally, this, if you look here, 21 by 29 centimeters. Obviously, I'm talking in centimeters because I'm in Australia, but that's A4. Okay. We all know what A4 is. But these days, you want something that's a little bit different. So maybe you might want a booklet rather than a full size A4 page. It depends if you want to print it or not. So if I put book in here, you can see booklet A5. So A5 is you've got a smaller size book that you see, 8.5 by 11 roughly. Let's have a look to see what we've got. So Canva's going to bring us up with a blank page, and that now gives us the ability to go over and make some designs. Now I'm going to close this because I don't want to print that. And I'm going to the design section, and then I'm going to have a look here at see all. And you'll see on this side here, I've got a whole range of different templates available. And if I click on one, you'll see all the subpages. So straight away, picture this in your head. We've gone from that plain text to something that looks like this. We just have to copy our information over and lay it out. Big difference, even if we just use the template the way it is without changing colors or anything. And we can go through all these different ones until we find one that we appreciate. So here's the business handbook. Now remember, this one that I've done is a whole pile of different tips. So I need something that's a little bit like this, probably more so, where it's text and a picture. Again, this will come down to what you want to achieve and what you want your look to look like. Employee handbook. Yeah, no, don't really like that one. Oh, marketing strategies playbook. Okay, let's have a look at this one. No. Okay, I'm going to go back and we're going to use the first one here. So I can do this. I can click that one and you can see straight away it gives me my title page. So if I go back here and scroll up and I get my thing, the traffic transformer, I'm going to copy and paste that and I'm going to grab this handle here and move it out until I get it right. And I can move this over a bit if I want to, and I can move this one over to match that one if I want to. So there we go, the traffic transformer. Actually, I'm going to bring that back. I'm just going to select that. So Brad Hauck, so it's got my name on there. Now it's got this logo. I want to get rid of that logo. I want my logo. So I'm going to come down in here and grab one of my logos, which is nice and simple. It always takes a second to load up, thanks to my super fast internet. Mind you, it's probably coming from somewhere else in the world. So there's my logo. I can shrink that down now and click and drag it up there. And I have that effect. Now, this really needs to be in my brand colors or a different color. So I'm actually going to, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this white. So I'm going to click on there and make this white. I change this text color to the blue or black. I think I'll go dark blue, same color as the logo. And this is wrong, 2025. Now I can come in here and if I click on this one and I change this to match my brand colors, you'll notice down the bottom here it says change all. So that will just change any others that are on there. And in fact, I can actually go through and change everything. Now there's a picture here. In this case, it's a picture of traffic. So I want actually a picture that's recently used. We want a picture of internet traffic. And we want a photo. So we can see all, and let's just drag that one onto there, and there we go. How's that looking? No, don't really like that. Let's just use this one of cars because straight away we're associated with traffic. Now, what I do want to do is I actually want to change that to match that. I really don't like it out of my brand colors, and I'm going to change this to match my orange from my brand. And there we go. So not perfect, and there's probably a lot more I can do. I can fix these up. In fact, all I'm going to do is actually, so that's www.mrweb.marketing.com. And this one, I don't want, I'll get rid of that. Okay. So now I'm going to add a page. It's time to start putting some text in there. So we've got here, we've got this sub headline, which I still got to go back actually. I might even, let's see if we can put that on the home page. I'm just going to copy and paste it. So if I go back to my home page, I can move this up and then paste that, and that will just paste straight in. I can drag that down to there. I can make that orange so it matches everything else. I'm going to bring that out so it's level with the side there, and I'm going to left-hand side it. And then I've still got that little subheading. So let's grab that one too, and click and paste that down there. And again, we're going to make that left align. I'm going to make that white text. And I need to bring that back a bit so it's inside there. Oh, it's a bit of a mouthful. We can go back and edit that later. So who cares? Okay, so first page, we've created a page. We've also got the background there. What we want to do is go back to our design, and we need to either put an introduction. So what have we got here? Introduction. So I'm not going to put this table of contents in for now. I've got an introduction. So we're going to put an introduction page in, and I'm going to grab this section first of all. Now let's just remove that space before I do that. Introduction. And I'm going to come back here, I'm going to paste that into there. And I'm going to cut that bit there and actually put that there. And I'm going to shrink the size of the font down. Just bring that a little bit wider. Probably needs to come down a bit more. Let's bring it back to 21. So the traffic generation challenge, bring that down. Notice I've lined the left-hand edges there, the little dots come up. And then I've got my text here. Now, obviously this looks pretty small, but let's zoom in a bit. And you can see introduction. If you're reading this guide, chances are you're facing. Now, notice the text is aligned to both sides. We don't want that because it's really weird to read. You can do it if you want to. It's a design element having it justified to the sides, but I personally just think it's better to have it left aligned. There's something about humans, I like things to have one strong side. Now, you can justify it, as I said, if I click this and I justify it, you can, sorry, wrong one, justify. You can see it's all right, but I don't know. It's just a bit weird to me. Personal taste. Okay, introduction. I'm just going to bold that, and I'm going to get rid of that stupid colon. Okay. Now, here we are again, and I'm just going to miss it. Marketing.com. So that's done, and I really don't want that one anymore. And that's got the page number automatically. We're going to change that so it's orange to match our design, and the blue, make that blue, and put my name up there. And finally, let me just shrink this back down a bit so we can see what we're doing here. I need a picture. So we're going to go back here, and there we go. Okay. Now you can use a picture of you. You can use a picture of anything, quite frankly. It's totally up to you. If you really wanted this to stand out, you might come down here into your pictures and choose one of yourself doing something. So where's one of me? Hang on. Need one with a background. There we go. There's me on stage. So I can swap that out and put a picture of me in there. You can put one of yourself. It's totally up to you. Depends on how you want to work your branding. So there's our introduction. We need to add a page and come back here and have a look. So what have we got? Traditional traffic problem. So we got some like bullet points here. And if I add those bullet points in, so why it matters. And then actually we'll just drop the space in there, and here's space there. And then these are bullet points here. So we'll just go back in and add these bullet points in. reason I'm doing this here is it's much easier to edit text here. I may still need to play around with it. So if I select this and just come down, and we'll take this first section, okay? The big thing is you don't want too much text. If you've got small areas, you can't run the text from one page into another. It's just not able to be done. So let's scroll down through our test pages. What have we got? This one looks like a good one. Okay, so what can we do? We can actually just literally get rid of elements. So if I just click on some of these elements and get rid of them, I keep that text when I want the text, but I really don't want this. I don't want this. Keep this one in case I want it. I'm going to change this to orange and click change all. And I'm going to change this to blue. Oops, silly me. Change it to blue, change all. That's done. And I can actually do the same for my heading if I want to match it in. And then I have that text. Now, notice how it's gone over the top of the other text. Just pick it up and drag it to the side. Click here, get rid of that. Then click here and drag this back. Okay, nice and easy, isn't it? Now, remember I said I didn't want to copy too much text? You can see why. Straight away now, I've got all this text here, and if I had copied more, it would go over the page. I can always add more to it, but I can't take it away as easy. Obviously, this is a heading, so let's just bold that, and a little bit more space in play here might be good, and add a space there. And you'll notice we've gone over, we've lost some of that area there. Now, what we can do is if I highlight these bullet points and then come up here to advanced settings, I can drop my line spacing back down. Okay, so if I drop back to 1.4 and then highlight these ones, come back up here and come back to, you can just type 1.4 if you want to. Enter. Notice how now it all fits in again. And I'll just get rid of that dash in there. Education content isn't just about teaching, comma, it's about traffic generation works. Okay, so look, you do get some layout issues, a little bit of spacing again. I think that based on all of this, we should just make this 1.4 for all of it. There we go. That looks much better. Sometimes when you're working on your first page of any document, you've got to get your formatting right. And sometimes I'll just grab a piece of paper and put it beside me and I'll write down information like line spacing 1.4 so that when I come back to this document later, and you can put it in a text file if you want to. I use Simple Note, which is a free multi-channel text program that you can store stuff in. You can open up on your phone, you can open up on a computer, whatever you want. You can come back to it later and make sure all the pages are the same. Because you're adding in new pages to this document, it's not one continuous feed like a Word doc. You can't apply as easily the changes to every single page at once. You have to do like a select paste or select adjust or whatever. So we've got this now. It looks more normal. I'm going to just put a little space in there and one space in there. And I can come here if I want to, and I can actually bring that up to say 9.8. Again, remembering that we're going to have to do this on everything to keep it the same. And then bring it down a little bit, just so we got a little bit of space. See, I'm working between the top line here and the bottom line here. So I've got this space, and then I'm going to just come over here and just fix that and get rid of that as always. And you'll notice that the numbers, it's gone 2 and then 4. So it's not actually counting the numbers. Okay. So just manually come back. It's best probably to do this at the end, to be honest, because you might add something in along the way, but just double check this when you finish your document. And we need a little bit of a heading for this area. Actually, was, yes, okay, it was, yes. Problems. I have got loose fingers on this morning. I cannot type to save myself. Okay, and lastly, I need a picture. So going back to my elements. Problem. I want a picture that indicates someone's thinking or having a trouble. There we go. We can drop that in there like that. Okay. So let's just shrink that down so you can see it now. And you can now see we've got our homepage, which is our cover. Remember, we're going to PDF this at the end so people can download it. The challenge is a picture of me. And then what are the problems when we start talking about that? Now, here's where you can actually leverage your time a little bit. If you need a page with text like this, all you need to do is come up the top here and click duplicate page. Now, because I just want text on the next page, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to drag this up to in line with that, to see that line with the bottom of the orange there. Change this to 0.3, and I can add more text in. So I'm going to come back here and get the other bit of text. So the traffic transformer methodology is designed to be, and then we come down to here. So I paste that in there. It becomes bold because the first part of the content there was bold. Now, I have a couple of things to do here. First of all, I can bold this. I then need to just put a space here. I need to bold this. I need to bullet point these. Remember I said sometimes it's easier to do this in the text beforehand. Put a space there, put a space there, and put a space there. Again, I need to bullet point these, and I'm going to bold this because it says pro tip and I want people's attention on that. And then I need to highlight this and go 9.8. Okay, so all my text, remember we looked at the text here, the text is 7.8. Remember I said about knowing what your text is going to be? So what I'm going to do is just select my text here and just take this back down, and select my text here and take that back down so that it's just 7.8. Okay, so now we have our text. It's all laid out and the size of the text matches the size of the text above. And you continue on with this process. We just work our way through and we choose different designs for our next page. Now, I can put a heading in there if I want to. There's all sorts of opportunities. If I want to put diagrams in or SWOT analysis, I could turn that into, instead of a SWOT, it might be a list of an acronym of my choice. There's all sorts of things I can do. But in the end, what you can end up with is a really nice lead magnet. So if I come back here and we look at some of my lead magnets. Okay, so here's my 10 extremely profitable courses you can create in a weekend, which you can download from mrwebmarketing.com. You can see it's nice and clean and easy to read, and powerful, strong graphics that catch people's attention. So it's really easy to make your first lead magnet. Now, once you've got the lead magnet done, what do? I've already got the title of Traffic Transformer up the top here. I actually just want to share it. I go to download. I'm going to go up and make it into PDF standard because I want it to be compressed. I can compress it and I can flatten it. So that brings all the elements down as close as to possible to the lowest size. Now, you're not losing any quality, but you are getting a compressed document. And obviously, if people are downloading on the internet, you want it to be compressed. The smaller it is, the more you have the ability to either have a download link and make it really fast, or email it to people when they fill out your form. It's up to you how you do it. I then go download, and it compresses that for me. And it then downloads, and here it is. Let me just grab this and bring it across for you. And here it is. So Traffic Transformer as a PDF. There's our homepage, and so on and so forth. So all done, all looking really nice and professional, and quite frankly, ready to share with the world. So that's how you create your first lead magnet using Canva. Create your content as text. You can format it, obviously, if you want to, just to make it a little bit quicker. Sometimes it's easier just to work with plain text. I tend to store all my stuff in Google Docs because then I can access it from anywhere in the world, which is very handy, and on any device. So if I want to do some editing or add some more content in, I can log in from anywhere. And then I use Canva with my templates to actually create the layouts, and I do it page by page. Now, it is a little bit time consuming, but the fact of the matter is you end up with this super professional design that you probably couldn't create on your own. I know I can't, I'm just not that creative. And it really looks like $1 million. And you don't need to actually hire a graphic designer to do this. The key is make sure you do use your brand colors so that it reflects your brand you have your logo in there, and you have all the other information that leads people back to you. So a call to action page at the end with a special offer, all those sorts of things. So I hope you've learned something today. Please subscribe and make a comment. It's really great for my soul. I really love interacting with you, and it lets me know that I'm teaching you something that you haven't been taught before. This is a great way to create your lead magnet for your course. And remember, if you do want a copy of my 10 profitable courses you can create in a weekend, go to mrwebmarketing.com now and download it for free. I'll catch you in the next video.